I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning webinar. We're going to be looking at ProArgi-9 Plus, and I've done a lot of webinars in the past with regards to the ingredients in ProArgi-9 Plus and how it works and that. What I basically want to do today is I want to help you understand how to market ProArgi-9 Plus. What are the three unique selling positions that you need to have nailed if you want to be able to separate ProArgi-9 Plus from all the other supplements that are in the marketplace, the so-called nitric oxide supplements in the marketplace? What are the 5 key ingredients that you really need to understand about ProArgi-9 Plus that helps to separate us from the rest of the competition? I want you also to come away from this webinar this morning. What are your 2 primary marketing strategies? Once you define which marketing strategy you're going to go down, then there is multiple niches within each marketing strategy. And then I also want to show you the 4 key resources that you need to have as part of your presentation. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to use every one of them in your presentation, but you need to have them as part of your go-to. Depending upon how that situation goes, you need to have these resources. You need to know where they're at. We're going to show you that today, and we're going to show you what they are and how effective that they can be. And as we go through this presentation, again, remember this is a live webinar. If you have questions, please either type them in the chat box. Hopefully I'll see them. I don't have anyone working the back office with me this morning other than myself. But definitely if you have a question, the best way would be to unmute yourself and then ask me directly. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with our presentation this morning. And I want to go into the 3 unique selling positions. They are your physician's desk reference, clinically proven, and 262 quality assurance steps. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you exactly how I use these 3 unique selling positions and how I put them together to make the separation between ProArgi-9 Plus and anything else in the marketplace. And I'm going to do these 3 unique selling positions all at one time. And then I'm going to come back to the individual slides that I have for them and help you to understand why I've worded things the way that I have and how I use a word called because when you use that word, people want to know why. And so it's psychologically, it's a very powerful word that when you're able to incorporate that word into the way that you present your information, you can help separate yourself from other people. So here is what I would do. Many times I get this question, why should I use your product over the other ones I see online or on the internet? Or it could be at GNC or at the drugstore or whatever it might be. The question is, why ProArgi-9 Plus over the other products that I see? And this is my answer to that question. You know, that's a great question. And let me give you 3 reasons why ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else in the marketplace. Because we are the only L-arginine supplement listed in the physician's desk reference. That's the main reference book that doctors use for guidelines and what they would recommend to their patients. We've been in there for the last 3 years, and the exact first line quote is this, quote, ProArgi-9 Plus is the highest quality L-arginine supplement in the world, end of quote. We are also the only clinically proven L-arginine supplement in the market. All the other products can make misleading statements, but we are the only clinically proven product. ProArgi-9 Plus is clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide than L-arginine alone, and we're clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 specific areas. And it's vascular inflammation that causes most cardiovascular health concerns. And the 3rd reason why you want ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else is that there are 262 verified quality assurance steps that go into the manufacturing of this product. Because of this, they offer a full 120-day money-back guarantee on the purchase price of their product. That's how much confidence we have in this product helping you. Now, I don't have it timed out, but that's most likely about a 60-second presentation on why ProArgi-9 Plus should be the product that they choose and helps you answer that. Now let's go back and look at each one of these slides on an individual basis so that you can see why these 3 unique selling positions are so critically important in helping you separate ProArgi-9 Plus from anything else in the marketplace. It starts with the physician's desk reference. Again, I have said this so often that I don't need to have a script in front of me to be able to tell you exactly what I just shared with you a couple minutes ago. Now, for those that are on the call this morning, I know that I've got some new people on the call this morning as well as people who've been here for a long period of time. That's a great question. You want to recognize that person's question. When you do that, you put them into their camp because you recognize that they have a good question, they have a valid question, and let me give you 3 reasons. Now, I didn't say reasons, I said 3. Very specific. I want them to then be waiting for 3 items that I'm going to present to them. Why ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else in the marketplace? Because we are. That's the first introduction of the because statement. Because we are the only, and again, when you share information and when you share words, there's words that you want to emphasize. So I emphasize only so that they understand that we are not the only. We are the only L-arginine supplement listed in the physician's desk reference. We've been in there for 3 years, and the exact first line quote, if you don't want to qualify why the physician's desk reference is important, that qualification would be, and we've been in the physician's desk reference for the last 3 years, and the physician's desk reference is the main reference book that doctors use for guidelines on what they would recommend to their patients. And the exact first line quote is this, quote, ProArgi-9 Plus is the highest quality L-arginine supplement in the world, end of quote. So we're recognized by the medical community. We are also the only clinically proven L-arginine supplement in the marketplace. All the other products can make misleading statements. I purposely put that in there, misleading statements, because there are a lot of misleading statements that are out there. But we are the only clinically proven product. ProArgi-9 Plus is clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide than L-arginine alone, and we are clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 specific areas. Now, if you want to learn that, that helps you to validate why we're clinically proven. If you don't want to take the time to learn that, then you can leave that second part out and just let people know that we're the only clinically proven L-arginine supplement in the marketplace. All the other products can make their misleading statements, but we are the only clinically proven product. And then you would go into the 3rd unique selling position. Now, I feel it's important, so I include this additional information, but that's just me. All right? If you don't feel that that's important, then don't include it. If you do feel it's important, then make sure that you get this information correct. ProArgi-9 Plus is clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide than L-arginine alone, and we're clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 specific areas. I don't tell people what those 2 specific areas are unless they specifically ask me. And then I know the answer to that, and I'll tell them. But I don't use it in here because then it gets too long and bogs people down into more information than what they really need. And it's vascular inflammation, because it's important to tie this. If you're going to do the second half, it's important to tie this to why this is important. And we are clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 specific areas, and it's vascular inflammation that causes most cardiovascular health concerns. I never use the word diseases. It's always cardiovascular health concerns. And then I go into the 3rd reason. And the 3rd reason, and again, I don't say, and the next reason or whatever, I let them know the 3rd reason because now they know that they're at the end of those 3 things that I gave them. And the 3rd reason why you want ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else, again, I emphasize over anything else. Again, I'm coming back to the reason for their question. Why should I use your product over any of the other products in the marketplace? And so again, I want to emphasize over anything else is that there are 262. Slow that down so that they can understand the magnitude of the amount of verification steps that go into this product. There are 262 verified quality assurance steps that go into the manufacturing of this product. Because of this, and I bring that because statement back in, they offer a full 120-day money-back guarantee on the purchase price of their product. That's how much confidence we have. Don't just say Synergy has. You're a representative for Synergy worldwide. Say we. That's how much confidence we have in this product helping you. And so, to me, those are the three aspects that you need to have to separate yourself. Those are the three unique selling positions for ProArgi-9 Plus that you need to have as part of your dialogue in helping people to understand why this product over anything else. Now, before I go into the key ingredients, do I have anyone on today's call that has a question about this or a comment before I move on to the next part of our presentation? Okay, since I hear nothing, I'll go on. All right, there are 5 key ingredients that I specifically hone into. There are other ingredients in ProArgi-9 Plus besides just these 5 key ingredients. There's grape seed extract, and there's resveratrol or red wine extract. But I focus on these because most companies don't put in vitamin K2 or pomegranate fruit concentrate, and most companies don't use pharmaceutical grade L-arginine and L-citrulline, and the vitamin D3 is there because it's in relationship to vitamin K2. So these are the 5 that I typically focus on if it becomes necessary to talk about ingredients. What separates us from the rest of the competition? What ingredients do we include that other people in the area don't include, and why are these ingredients in there? So when we come to L-arginine, L-arginine is always the first and most important ingredient. It's the amino acid that is that the endothelium converts to nitric oxide. It's important to understand that we use pure free-form L-arginine that is pharmaceutical grade. Most of the other L-arginine supplements use food-grade L-arginine. Food grade has a wide variation in terms of potency and purity and absorption. But when you're dealing with pharmaceutical grade, that is the highest standard set for that particular ingredient for optimal absorption and optimal purity. And we're pharmaceutical grade. So it's important to help people understand that. It's superior to arginine HCl and arginine AKG. HCl is hydrochloride, AKG is alpha-ketoglutarate. And understand when you tie another molecule to L-arginine, it's typically done for a reason. It's to boost absorption, which means that the arginine that they're using most likely is food grade. They need something else attached to it to increase absorption. And then the other thing is, let's say they have 5 grams of arginine HCl or 5 grams of arginine AKG. Well, that doesn't mean that they're getting 5 grams of arginine. They're getting something significantly less. When we talk about giving a person 5 grams of pharmaceutical grade L-arginine, because it's pure free-form L-arginine, they're getting 5 grams of that specific amino acid. If they're getting 5 grams of arginine HCl or arginine AKG, they're most likely getting somewhere around 2.5 to 3.0 grams of L-arginine. The rest of it is the hydrochloride or alpha-ketoglutarate. So they don't get as much of the primary ingredient that you need to produce nitric oxide. And then again, what separates us from the rest of the competition is that we are isolated and purified from a fermentation process of natural ingredients, as opposed to other ways that L-arginine can be produced. The second key ingredient is L-citrulline. If you don't have L-citrulline, if you're just using L-arginine by itself, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money, because the amount of nitric oxide that L-arginine can produce by itself is significant, but only for a very short window of time, 2 to 4 hours. And then within 4 to 6 hours, you're back to baseline levels. You must have L-citrulline because it's used to metabolize and yield more L-arginine. And because of L-citrulline, you can then extend the ability of that endothelium through that enzymatic process to create more nitric oxide over a much longer period of time. So what I say to people is I say to them that our product has been clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide than L-arginine alone because of the kinds of ingredients that we use in it. What it does is it allows you to produce higher levels of nitric oxide over a much longer period of time. And that's significant because when you have nitric oxide at high enough levels over a long enough period of time, they can initiate reparative mechanisms that can heal damage done to the vascular system and help return more of your endothelium, this lining in your vascular system, into a healthy functioning tissue that can then produce more nitric oxide and continue to help you improve your circulation. Now you notice I don't have any notes on the screen. I don't have any notes in front of me. I've been saying this long enough that I know how to answer questions. This is the thing that you need to do yourself. You need to put yourself in positions to be able to talk to people. And I don't always say what I just shared with you. I say that only when it's important to help that person to understand why our product is a better product than anything else that they're looking at. Now, the next two that I usually combine together is vitamin D3 and K2. And the reason why I combine these two together is because they work together to regulate calcium levels. The production of nitric oxide by the endothelium is a calcium-dependent reaction, meaning that I can have all the right ingredients there, but if I don't have calcium to initiate the reaction, I'm not going to do a very effective job in producing nitric oxide. So calcium is important to have in the vascular system, in the bloodstream, to optimize the ability of the endothelium to produce nitric oxide. And the combination of vitamin D3 and K2 helps to properly regulate that calcium level. Now, independent, vitamin D3 has been shown to support healthy cardiovascular function and inflammatory responses. It's also been shown to help to reduce diabetic complications. And then vitamin K2 has plenty of studies. If you go and Google vitamin K2 nitric oxide, you'll see plenty of peer-reviewed clinical studies showing that vitamin K2 enhances the ability to create nitric oxide, but more importantly, you'll see that vitamin K2 helps to prevent against calcification of the vascular system. So this vitamin K2 is really important, and you need to understand that it's vitamin K2 as opposed to vitamin K1. Again, we'll get into conversations with people, well, you know, this product's got vitamin K1 in it. Tell me what the product is. Okay, that's you're looking at L-arginine plus. Well, L-arginine plus uses vitamin K1. Now, here's the problem with vitamin K1. See, I use specific words. Here's the problem, all right? Or here's the issue with vitamin K1. First off, it has no benefit to your vascular system. Secondly, it's not going to do anything to help regulate calcium levels, which is what you need for optimal production of nitric oxide. And third, if a person's on some type of blood clotting medication, it can interfere with that medication. So what Synergy Worldwide does is it uses the correct form of vitamin K, which is vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 doesn't interfere with any medications. It works with vitamin D3 to properly regulate your calcium levels, to optimize the ability of that endothelium to produce nitric oxide. And by itself, vitamin K2 can actually reverse calcification of the vascular system and protect you against that whole process. So Synergy Worldwide, because it's a little bit more expensive to put vitamin K2 in, they do that because they understand that that is the ingredient that's going to help you properly produce nitric oxide, as well as help you to improve arterial and cardiovascular health. So they do what's right as opposed to what's cheap. So again, It's all about how you position your information in front of people so that, again, you can help them understand why they should be choosing ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else in the marketplace. And then the last key ingredient is pomegranate fruit concentrate. Why is this ingredient so critically important? And why is it left out in other companies? Well, one, most other companies most likely don't understand the importance of this one ingredient. But this ingredient, in fact, if you look on a canister, I've got a canister in front of me. I've got the mixed berry. So in the proprietary blend, it goes L-arginine xylitol pomegranate fruit concentrate. If you look at the grape formulation, let me pull a grape here. On the grape formulation, it's L-arginine pomegranate fruit concentrate. So pomegranate fruit concentrate is critically important, and Synergy puts even more pomegranate fruit concentrate into ProArgi-9 Plus than what they do L-citrulline. And I'll get comments from people, well, you know, I read on the internet that you have to have a higher level of L-citrulline than what you guys have in your product. And I said, well, if you were just dealing with L-arginine and L-citrulline as the only two ingredients in your product, maybe you're correct on that. But see, Synergy understands that this is a synergistic blend of ingredients that are designed to optimize the ability of the endothelium. See, I always use that word, optimize the ability of the endothelium to create nitric oxide. And so they include pomegranate fruit concentrate, because pomegranate fruit concentrate actually enhances the enzymatic activity of the endothelium to produce higher levels of nitric oxide. In fact, you can go and Google pomegranate fruit concentrate and nitric oxide, and you'll see peer-reviewed clinical studies that show that that one ingredient by itself optimizes or increases nitric oxide production, and even then is able to reverse plaque formations within the vascular system. That's hugely important, because it's plaque formations in your vascular system that over time is what causes most people their cardiovascular concerns, their issues, leads to the potential for strokes and heart attacks. So by having pomegranate fruit concentrate in our product, we're enhancing the ability of the endothelium to create higher levels of nitric oxide, and by itself be able to reverse plaque formations within the vascular system. I don't talk about ProArgi-9 Plus being able to do that. I talk about pomegranate fruit concentrate being able to do that. And through the process of talking about pomegranate fruit concentrate being able to do that with peer-reviewed clinical studies that support that, then I let them make the inference that, gosh, that's a benefit from having ProArgi-9 Plus. Because if a person asks me specifically, can this reverse plaque formation, I'll come back to, well, we don't have any clinical studies to support that, but if you look at certain ingredients like pomegranate fruit concentrate, there are plenty of peer-reviewed clinical studies that show that when you use that ingredient, it optimizes endothelial activity, the enzymatic activity of the endothelium, to produce higher levels of nitric oxide over a longer period of time, and can then be shown, or has been shown, to reverse plaque formations. So what I always try and do is I try and put it back onto an ingredient in a clinical study to answer their question, so that I don't get caught saying that our product can do this. Our product is specifically clinically proven in two areas. It's clinically proven to produce higher levels of nitric oxide than L-arginine alone, and it's clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in two key areas. Now, before we go into marketing strategies, do I have any questions or comments on anything with regards to the 5 key ingredients that I just shared with you?
Hello, Dan.
Yes, Donald.
Again, on Tuesday night, I like how you fielded the question on pomegranate fruit concentrate. And in fact, after you went off, I was asked about white ProArgi-9 as opposed to any of the other arginines out there. And I was able to indicate that a leading what do you call it? A leading exercise store carries arginine and they carry citrulline separately. In other words, they sell L-arginine and they sell L-citrulline. So unless a person knows that the two should come together, and they just come out and buy the L-arginine and not getting the L-citrulline to mix with the L-arginine, they're not getting the full effects of arginine.
Yeah, we had the one individual that that was on Thursday night. Donald put together a nice group of people. He asked me to do a presentation for him on ProArgi-9 Plus. And at the end of the presentation, there was a question specifically with regards to pomegranate, people eating pomegranate, the fruit pomegranate, and would that help them increase nitric oxide production? So yes, by itself, pomegranate can do that, but understand that pomegranate by itself is going to enhance enzymatic activity of the endothelium, but if you don't have the primary sources, which are L-arginine and L-citrulline, then even though I enhance the enzymatic activity, if I don't have what I need in the beginning to convert L-arginine, L-citrulline, then I'm not going to be able to optimize as much nitric oxide production as possible. So by itself, yes, pomegranate fruit concentrate, there's plenty of studies that show it increases nitric oxide production. But when you add the other sourcing like L-arginine, L-citrulline, and the things that we've already talked about, then you can take that production of nitric oxide even higher and over a much longer period of time. That's why it's the synergistic blend of these products, these ingredients, that significantly sets us apart from anything that you could do either piecemeal, like Donald's talking about, or other products that are out there in the marketplace. Thank you, Donald. Anyone?
Just to me add, Dan, that I was surprised that you got that question because pomegranate is a fruit that is, you know, grown here like wild, meaning it's plenty of people have that fruit and use it, and so that person thought, well, if I use the fruit, then I don't need the other stuff, and that's one of the things that happens here a lot. Some people are so into the natural stuff, they tend to just go to the fruit as opposed to the combination. So I thank you again for the way you answered that question.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Do we have any other questions from anyone on the 5 key ingredients before I go into the 2 primary marketing strategies? Okay. So there's 2 primary marketing strategies for ProArgi-9 Plus, at least in my mind. One is eliminate heart disease, and the second one is improve athletic performance. So as we go into this, you need to decide that if you're going to make ProArgi-9 Plus your primary product, you know, that's what I've done, that's what Dane has done, that's what a lot of people have done, is they've focused on ProArgi-9 Plus over anything else in the Synergy worldwide lineup of products. I focus on eliminate heart disease, and I have a sub-focus on athletic performance. Now, when you look at, if you decide to go down this pathway of eliminate heart disease, then what are the niche categories that are within that? High blood pressure is a niche category. Diabetic complications is a niche category. Cholesterol concerns, sexual function, African American health, women's heart health, cognitive function, wound healing, stroke prevention. Now, I didn't necessarily list these in the order of importance, other than these first 4. High blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for strokes and heart disease. It's also the #1 complication for diabetics. Now, when you're dealing with marketing, a lot of people either don't know their blood pressure issues, but there are also a lot of people out there that are searching for a more natural way of being able to bring their blood pressure back into the normal range. They're either on medications and they don't like the side effects that their medications are creating for them, or their medications aren't working and they're looking for something that would be more natural. So there's a large market for that. But when you're dealing with diabetic complications, every day, if a person's diabetic, every day they most likely know it because they're either monitoring their blood sugar. You know, a lot of people with high blood pressure don't necessarily monitor their blood pressure on a regular basis. But diabetics typically monitor themselves, their blood sugar levels, and they have a lot more complications that cause them illness than what necessarily high blood pressure will do. That's why high blood pressure is called the silent killer, because people don't understand that they have high blood pressure because they don't necessarily have the symptoms that would tell them they have high blood pressure. But for a diabetic, yeah, they have a lot more symptoms, a lot more complications in terms of blood flow, neuropathy, poor wound healing. So there's a lot of things that a diabetic will see, poor skin quality. So when you're dealing with the diabetic community, there's a lot that you can do to help them understand using nitric oxide therapy as a way for helping them to address their diabetic complications that can make a significant difference for them. Then there's cholesterol concerns, there's sexual function. Arnold Broad has done a fantastic job in terms of beginning to use YouTube videos to speak to men's issues in this area with regards to ED, that he is now consistently every month running close to 2,000 or more in CV volume just on his Tracking Center 1 from orders that he's getting for men who are trying to address this issue. When we look at African American health, there's a huge population base in the United States with regards to African Americans. And when you look at African Americans, you will see that for African Americans, they have a higher incidence of cardiovascular disease than most other ethnic groups. And there's two specific reasons why they're more compromised than other ethnic groups. And the video, and I guess what I'm going to share and show to you in just a little bit, is that we have videos that we've produced to help people in these different categories understand. So we have a video that specifically speaks to the needs of African Americans and specifically points out these two genetic predispositions that cause African Americans to have higher levels of cardiovascular concerns than any other population group. Women's heart health. I don't know what the population base is, but I'm just going to take a guess that over half the population are women. It could be a little bit higher than that. And today, women have greater heart disease than men, more heart attacks than men. In fact, 5 times more women will die from heart disease than they'll die from breast cancer. Again, that's not to downplay breast cancer, but that's to help women understand that there's something in their body that's going to have a greater concern for keeping them alive than necessarily focusing on breast cancer. So if you're going to focus on breast cancer, you also need to focus on cardiovascular health, because 5 times more women are going to die from cardiovascular disease than are going to die from breast cancer. So again, it's putting it and positioning the information so that women will take and pay attention to it. Cognitive function. Anytime that you improve blood flow to the brain, you're going to improve cognitive function. Wound healing. The endothelium, nitric oxide, and L-arginine are all involved in the wound healing process. Stroke prevention. So again, there's so many niches that you can go down with regards to this overall marketing strategy of eliminating heart disease. And then when you get into athletic performance, that is just huge. You know, I don't know if anyone watched last night on ABC at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. They have Shark Tank, and so on Shark Tank they did a review of one of the products that they had that one of the sharks had made an agreement with, and it's these things to protect your hands from calluses. And I don't know the specific what they call them, but they highlighted how they are now the hand garment, for lack of a better word, for the CrossFit community. The CrossFit community is huge. It's most likely close to 3 million people in the CrossFit community, and that's most likely just on Facebook. So that CrossFit community is even larger. All you need to do is go around your local area, and you can most likely find one of those free magazines that have events that are going on in your community. And if you just look in there, you'll see that there are events every weekend for runners and bikers. Swimmers, especially swimmers that do both short and long distance swimming. The wrestling community, that third period is what makes or breaks a wrestler. Basketball, football, cross country. As I was doing this, I never thought about cross country, but cross country is an endurance sport. What is the premise of nitric oxide therapy? Well, it improves blood flow. And when you improve blood flow, you improve the delivery of oxygen and nutrients, and you properly remove waste products. So for the athletic community, you help them work at a higher aerobic capacity, which means for them less lactic acid buildup, and lactic acid is always the limiting factor for any athlete in what they're doing. So again, if you're going to go down the improve athletic performance, you have so many niche markets that you can then begin to address and help them increase their athletic performance by an average of 15%. If that person is into athletics and they're competitive, then helping them understand how to improve their performance by 15%, how to improve their workouts by 15%, they'll be interested in knowing how to do that. And so you can create a large interest base of athletes who want to understand how nitric oxide therapy can improve their athletic performance. Now, before I go into the 4 key marketing resources, do I have any questions about the 2 key marketing strategies? Thanks for the typo there, Donald. All right, I was reading some chats. I don't always see the chats when they come in. All right, I don't hear any questions on the marketing strategy, so let's go into the 4 key marketing resources. Videos. 99% of my client base comes through my videos, and you have the same access to these videos as what I do. So let me end the show here. Let's go into the internet. And so if you go to globalhealthmakeover.com. That is the website that Dane Orge and Bob Wishmeyer put up to service everyone in Synergy worldwide with regards to resources that are available to you. For people that are in what we call our Synergy family, we have the Synergy library where you'll find these resources. But if you go onto the Global Health Makeover website, and if you hover your cursor over resources, you see a drop-down menu, Cardio Wellness Library and Videos. So if you go to the Cardio Wellness Library and you click on that, that's going to take you to a page that hosts on that single page all these different videos: African American, Alzheimer's, cholesterol concerns, diabetic complications, high blood pressure, sexual function, stroke prevention, secret to cardiovascular health, the truth about L-arginine, women's heart health, enhancing wound healing, instructions on taking ProArgi-9+, and then there's 4 athletic videos. Athletic performance, bodybuilding, 5K, ski, improving your ski experience, snow ski experience. So you can send this whole page. You just right-click, copy, and then paste that URL into an email that you might send to a person, and then you would send something to the effect that, hey, Donald, glad to have met you today. I understand that you're dealing with some high blood pressure issues. My wife dealt with the same thing. Her blood pressure at one time was 160/90. She applied nitric oxide therapy through the use of ProArgi-9+, and now her blood pressure runs 112/68. Here is a video that I think that I know that if you watch will help you understand how nitric oxide therapy can specifically address your high blood pressure issue. So I would like, click on the link below. You're going to see a bunch of videos. The one that you want to watch is the first video on the second row, called Take the High Out of High Blood Pressure. And so I send that as an email. And Bob Wishmeyer and others will send this as a link, and then they're on there, and maybe Donald didn't tell me, but he's got maybe some ED issues, and so he clicks on the sexual function video. Or maybe he has a family member that is diabetic, and he clicks on the diabetic complication. Or Donald's African American, and he's interested in what this could do for African Americans, for other people that he knows in the African American community. Again, when you send all the videos, but specifically identify the one that you want that person to watch, it gives you the opportunity to maybe speak to other needs that hasn't been expressed. Now, if you go back onto resources and you go all the way down to videos and you click on videos, then what you can do is you can go down and then you will see some of the specific videos that have been created for products and other things. So there's two primary places, but if you're looking for videos that speak to cardiovascular issues, you want to go onto the Global Health Makeover website, hover over resources, click on Cardio Wellness Library, and you've got all those videos there. And then a little neat trick that you can do, that if you want, you can always right-click on a video, and if you see this copy shortcut, you can copy the shortcut, which is the URL that's behind that video, and then you can send that link just for that video to the person. Now, let's go back to our slide presentation. So we've got videos. You know, I've already shared with you where it's located. Again, it's theglobalhealthmakeover.com. And then once you're on that, hover over resources, click on Cardio Wellness Library, and you'll be able to find all those individual videos. And then for people who are in our Synergy family, you can go to the Synergy Library and find all those videos there. The other key resource tool is the Discover ProArgi-9 Plus brochure. This has been recently updated. Bob Wishmeyer did a great job. Again, if we go back to the Global Health Makeover website, if you click on Store, that will take you into the store, and you will see right here the brochures. You can click on the brochure. It'll take you right to that page, and you're getting 100 brochures for $30. That $30 also includes the shipping fee, and I use these brochures all the time. Now, I send one of these brochures with every new client that I get. I send one of these brochures with the other instructions that I have on how to use the product in the package that goes to my new clients. And for my existing clients, when I have something new, like this has been recently updated, I make sure that I also then, when they reorder, get this new updated brochure for the first time. I don't send it every time, but I always make sure that for the first time that something new's come out, I include that, so I can continue to validate in their mind that they are taking the best product in the marketplace. You know, when we go back to looking at this brochure, you know, there's a couple of key things that are on here. You know, ProArgi-9 Plus in the medical community, ProArgi-9 Plus in the physician's desk reference, 120-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Let me go back here. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can get to, there we go. The Otis Award, CAM Expo. We've got Dr. Matthew Tripp, Forbes Magazine, the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation. So there's a lot of things on this brochure that provides unique selling positions to ProArgi-9 Plus to help to reassure the person that you're working with that they have made the right choice, that they continue to make the right choice in using ProArgi-9 Plus as the product that to help them with their vascular health. Now, that's the brochure. If you don't have Dr. Ignaro's book, No More Heart Disease, then go on Amazon or wherever you want to. From you know, there's other places besides Amazon that have discounted books, but this needs to be part of your resources. Dr. Ignaro has an updated book. I still believe that the original book, and I don't know how many times it's been reprinted. You know, I don't know what he's up to now, but we certainly have helped him sell a lot of books. But this is the book to get, because the cover tells everything and says things that you can't say. You know, here's Dr. Ignaro. He's one of 3 American researchers who won the Nobel Prize in 1998 for discovering how this tissue called the endothelium that lines all of your vascular system converts the amino acid L-arginine into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. And notice what Dr. Ignarro says, how nitric oxide can prevent, even reverse, heart disease and strokes. Now, wouldn't you like to be able to reverse any heart disease and potential for strokes in your family or in yourself personally? Oh, yeah, I would. Well, here's what Dr. Ignarro has to say. And so these are pages, Janice Smith uses this book all the time. And these are pages that she has bookmarked and then highlighted key statements on those pages so that if she's doing a one-on-one presentation with the person, she can go right to that page and she can clearly show them, here's what Dr. Ignarro says. Again, here's not what I say, here's what Dr. Ignarro says. In fact, let's go to page 47. Here's what Dr. Ignarro says. And then on page 53, Dr. Ignarro says this. And then on page 220, Dr. Ignarro says this. So you're using a Nobel Prize laureate who discovered how the endothelium converts L-arginine into nitric oxide. You're using his resource tool. This is still the best book out there in helping the layperson understand nitric oxide and the importance of nitric oxide. Now, those are the pages that speak to Janice. You need to read the book, and then you need to highlight as you're reading it. And then once you highlight it, you need to go back and read your highlights, and then pick out the 1 or 2 statements that really resonate with you, and then bookmark them. Either use a bookmark or use a paper clip or whatever, so that when you meet a person and they're looking for validation, like, what is this nitric oxide? You've never heard of nitric oxide? I'm always amazed that people have not heard this, because it's the best kept secret by the medical community. There must be a reason why the medical community doesn't want you to know how you could naturally prevent your cardiovascular health concerns. In fact, here's a book by Dr. Louis Ignarro. He and 2 other American researchers won the Nobel Prize in 1998. What are we into now, 2016? That's what, 28 years? My math is correct, that we still don't know about this. Yet look what he says on his cover, how nitric oxide can prevent, even reverse heart disease and strokes. This is so critically important. And I've learned what nitric oxide therapy can do for people. And I've had the ability to bless people's lives with better health by sharing with them how nitric oxide therapy can directly address their cardiovascular health concerns and do it naturally. Would you like more information about this? Again, I don't have any notes in front of me. When you begin to use your resources and when you begin to engage in people, you'll begin to create your own narrative. And like what I do after I make a presentation to a person, if it doesn't go well, I always go back and look at, what did I say? Because there was something I said that didn't connect. How could I have said that more effectively? Did I give too much information here? So again, I always look at, when I get a yes, great. When I get a no, what did I do wrong in that presentation? How did I not connect properly with that person? What could I have rephrased that I said to them that would have made a better impact on that individual? Now, if you're in the Hispanic community, Dr. Ignarro's book is in Spanish. David Munoz uses this book all the time in the Spanish community for people whose primary language is Spanish. And then he also carries the English version of it. And then finally, well, not finally, I have a little bonus here, but finally, we also have, I see I'm going past my time, we also have created nitric oxide therapy flyers. We have one for athletic performance. We have one for a little older adults. We've created one for the African American community. All the information is the same, just the different pictures that we put up on top. We changed out the pictures so that you can speak to the community that you're talking to. Women's heart health, so we chose to put a women doctor on that one there. We've got the Hispanic one. This is in English. David's working on converting this to Spanish. And then we have a group growing in Barbados, and we changed this here so it was a little bit more readable. And at the same time, because the population base in Barbados is predominantly in the black community, we again want to have a picture that would represent the community that you're talking to. And you also want it to represent what you want people to feel, that they, what they would like. We don't want glum-looking people. We don't want a picture of a guy having a heart attack. We want people looking like they're healthy, they're happy. And that's 10 reasons why you should take ProArgi-9 Plus. It's a subtle message in terms of the images that you choose to put on the flyer, but that's what we've done here. And before I get to this, let me go and show you where those flyers are located. If you have not gone on to Facebook, and if you've not liked our Synergy Family Facebook page, so if you go to facebook.com/Our Synergy Family, you need to like that page, because we post these kinds of things up on that page. And if you scroll down, you'll come across these different flyers. All right? So if you scroll down, here's the one that we did for the Hispanic community. And if you continue to scroll down, you'll see that we've got a flyer here. That's the back side of that flyer and how we branded it to Wardell Harding. And then you continue to scroll down, here's the one for women. And if you click on this thing here that says images, ClickFunnels, you can find that PDF. And then you can store that PDF on your computer so that you always have access to it. And again, if you continue to scroll down, here's the one for African Americans. If you continue to scroll down, here's the one that I showed you for older adults who are active. Here's the one that if you scroll down, you'll find for the athletic community. So we put these things up, these resources, on our Facebook page, and you have your links there that you can click on that link. It'll take you directly to the PDF, and then you can, or what you can do to save yourself a step, you can right-click on that link. You'll see it says Save Target As, and then you can save that right directly on your computer. Create a folder on your computer that says nitric oxide therapy flyers, and then you can go on to Facebook and you can right-click on every one of those URLs and save target as directly on your computer as a PDF file that's on your computer so that you have it all the time. And you don't then have to search for it. Now, the last thing I'll share with you that we've created as a very powerful resource tool is this one-page platform. It's what we call our virtual DVD. Rather than trying to hand a DVD to a person and then go have to get the DVD back, I understand the concept of it and I understand the principle of it, but I'd rather people connect through the internet to save everyone time and expense. And if you go to whowantsimprovedhealth.com, that's our virtual DVD. There's 7 tracks. There's track 1 is an introductory track. Tracks 2, 3, and 4 are product orientated. Track 2 would be fantastic testimonials. Track 3 would be why, ProArgi-9 Plus Advantage. That would be the ProArgi-9 Plus Advantage video. And then track number 4 would be on the preferred customer program. And then the next 3 tracks, tracks 5, 6, and 7, are about the business opportunity. Track 5 would be a synergy opportunity meeting that we created and recorded, and it covers both product and business opportunity. And then track number 6 is all about the preferred or the Elite Honors Program, how that's the core building block to your synergy business. And then track number 7 is about how to harness the Elite Honors Program in the structure of our 10-10 Club to create significant residual income. So again, that's another powerful resource tool that I've used, that when people say, well, I'd like to get more information about the business, I'll send them to this link, and then I'll specifically tell them which videos that I want them to watch that are on that page. And then when I follow up with them in my notes, I'll know which videos I suggested that they watch, and I'll then ask them specific questions to those videos to see, one, if they watched it, and secondly, what kind of questions that they might have with regards to the contents on those videos. So those are powerful resource tools that you can use to assist yourself in this whole process of being able to go and effectively market ProArgi-9 Plus. All right, we're past what we normally end up. Do I have any questions from anyone with regards to anything that you've seen this morning?
Dan, this is Donald, not a question, and I don't mean to be the correction police today, but it's only 18, coming up on 18 years, and not 28.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm 2 years to 2000. Thank you, Donald.
Sure.
And Dan, this is Homer. I just want to say thanks. This is awesome. I'm blown away. I mean, you kind of gone over all this before, but you've put it together to where it's just like, wow, it's just all right there and easy to get to. And basically, we just need to get busy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Homer. And I have recorded it, and I just checked, and it's still recording, so hopefully there's no issues. I'll render it, and then next Friday when we send out the general email to everyone, the link will be there for this recording. Plus, if you go on YouTube and you type in YouTube / Our Synergy Family, you'll come to our YouTube page, and this video or today's live webinar is recorded. That recording will also be hosted in that platform. Plus, I'll also put it up on the Facebook page. So again, if you don't know how to use YouTube properly and find us there, definitely go to Facebook. Definitely like us on Facebook, because once this video has been rendered and put up on YouTube, then I'll do a post on Facebook so that you will have access to it and be able to then, you can then store that URL on your computer, or at least you'll know where to find it. Okay? Anything else? You're welcome. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Dan, just one question. Do you have this, or part of this as a, what should I call it, PDF? You know how you have notes to the presentation?
Yeah, I have a slide presentation. I have absolutely no notes in front of me.
Okay.
But I do have a slide presentation that I can put into a PDF file, and if you want me to send that to you, I can certainly do that.
I would love that, Dan. Thank you very much.
I made a note of that. And let's see, this is what I'll do. I'll create a PDF file for it. I'll then host that PDF file up on ClickFunnels, and then what I'll do is I will then on the Facebook page for Our Synergy Family, I'll separate the two, where I'll do the PDF file as a link that you can download, and then I'll also put up today's video recording as a separate post so that you have them separated. I found from experience that when I combine them, unless you click on the more information, you don't see the second URL. So I'll make them as two separate posts.
Thank you. Great.
You're welcome. That way everyone will have access to this information.
Very powerful today.
Thank you.
Very, very
Appreciate
powerful.
it. Great. Any final things before we say goodbye?
I just want to say thanks, Dan. It was an excellent presentation and a lot of food for thought.
Thank you.
Well done.
Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day. Appreciate your extra time on this morning's webinar. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.